There's one question I'd like to ask you, but I don't know if you would answer. So I'm going to ask you anyway.
I'm an objection master, so let's go.
Are you able to share your net worth?
My net
Or
worth?
collectively as your wolf pack, for example?
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the Words of Rizdom Podcast. We're back once again. We're still here in Dubai, and we're still the number one and fastest growing podcast in the trading space, and that's thanks to all of you and our incredible guests. Talking of which, we have a very, very special guest with us today, the co-founder of TradeLocker, the platform that everyone is talking about, and I'm excited to get into this. We are joined by Owen Morton.
Thanks very much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
My pleasure. Pleasure. I know we bumped into each other the other day, accidentally.
Yeah, you were with your family. It was very, very nice. Good to sort of break the ice a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing and this platform that you have. Thank you very much.
No, I appreciate it, and I'm sure the trading community appreciates everything to do with TradeLocker, which I'm sure we're going to get into.
Yeah.
What I would like to do, though, is just sort of get to know you and give the audience a chance to get to know you as well. I've obviously had my chance to sort of read up on you. I've been following you for quite some time now. But I feel like the audience should get to know you as well, because you're not just a co-founder of TradeLocker, even though that's an incredible thing. But how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, okay. So I started in hospitality, and family business for us is hospitality. There's a lot of bars and restaurants, and my passion was, sales, talking to people, networking. But when you have a family that has this type of business, you're always with people, always talking. You're customer service. You're trying to sell your product and get people out there. But when I was working in hospitality, I learned sales, and that's like 16, 17, 18 years old. And realizing though that when I was doing that I didn't want to do that forever. I didn't want to work in the bar forever. So I was trying to figure out what to do. And my brother gave me a very, very strong push to try learn how to create websites. So when I was 19, 20, I was going to college, not really doing that well. So I said, okay, you need to learn something else to make sure that I can try and make some money in this world. And learned how to create WordPress websites and learned how to optimize those for search. So if you had a business, let's say you had a cake shop or a sandwich shop in a local area. I come from Ireland, so in Dublin, I would be able to put your business on Google. And back then it was a little bit easier than it is today. Back in 2010, 11, 12, you could get ranked quite well. So learned that, really, really honed my skill, and managed to get a bit of a business going. That business is called WebBiz. It started with me and my brother, and we were making websites for everybody in our area, getting gyms, hair salons, other businesses, restaurants, and just getting them business, getting them leads. But one thing that we always said to ourselves is we're trading our time for their money. Okay, so we were charging 25 an hour. Okay, let's put it up. Let's double it, 50 an hour. Let's double it, 100 an hour. But that only gets you so much, and you can create a nice lifestyle out of that. But what you don't have is you don't have longevity, because you need to get the next client in order to get, the next pay, and then to pay your rent, and et cetera, et cetera. So we focused a lot of energy trying to find how we can get into a business where there was some type of commission or some type of revenue share. And this was a strong focus for us for years. So while we honed in on WebBiz, like we made a really, really good agency. We had 19 staff at one point doing like $3 million a year, 3 million euros a year, excuse me. So it was pretty decent, but we still were missing that, when you're sleeping, you're not making money, and that's something that we really, really focused on. Luckily, my cousin, he was building an EA, and he reached out one day and he said, hey, you guys are pretty good on websites. I'm not, but I have this. Is there any way we could partner and we could make a website that sells this through subscription model, and we'll do a rev share? And I was like, wow, we found the rev share, and we found it in our family, So that's literally how we started. It was the first thing. That was the first introduction to trading back then. It was like 2011, 12, 13, that type of time. We didn't do anything in trading before, purely websites. Did it. And we knew that it was pretty cool. We were selling this EA, and we were able to do it, and we started offering it out to other people. So if you had an EA, you could come to us. We'd do the subscription website, plug you into Stripe, PayPal, whatever it was, and we'd try to do a deal with you as well to get that commission. So we'd achieved our goal. That was the first touch point in trading. Continue?
Of course,
okay.
Yeah, of course.
So with that, we realized that there's a lot more to be done in this space. When you're, let's say, in the gold rush, the person that made the most money is the guy selling shovels, all right? So we knew that there was a lot of money to be made in Forex. Crypto wasn't obviously a huge thing. It was coming up, but there wasn't any crypto trading. There wasn't any big exchanges or something like that. So we were focused on Forex and stuff. We went to the Forex conferences, see what people were doing. And the biggest thing that we found was traders' rooms, the back end, were just hard, clunky. Everyone was different. So we said, okay, let's try make one product and see if we can sell it to brokers. And we made a traders' room. And that's all we did. We made a traders' room and we gave it for free. And the only way we made money is if you had traders and they made money. That was the first ever product. So when the trader traded, they would do, let's say, one lot, whatever you charge, we wanted a commission on that. That was our entry into trading. And since then, we've been building the ecosystem around all the way to today.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And there's a few things that I'd like to touch on there. I know one thing you mentioned is like, starting out, it's like $25 an hour, $50 an hour, or euros, and scaling it. Was there a case where you had to sort of learn about sort of knowing your worth and sort of being willing to push yourself? Because I've been in that situation where I'm like, I'll just offer lower because maybe they won't go for higher, for example, if you know what I mean. And it's like trusting your ability and trusting and sort of knowing how to price yourself well.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we began, if we did a little bit of research, and I use the term we a lot because I'm an identical twin. So just so you know, an identical twin. When I post my brother Jason, people are like, "You have a twin? It's nuts." But yeah, me and my brother were always there, and we have a thing. On Monday we do a stand up, and on Friday we do we achieve meeting. We call it a State of the Nation. Okay. And we started that when we were very young. And in the State of the Nation, you would always see, okay, what are your goals? What did you do? Owen, you said that you had 4 sales at the top of the week. Did you close any? No, I didn't. Why? How can I help? And we just constantly asked ourselves these questions. And one thing that we let's say, struggled on earlier on is we can easily sell. Like I can sell anything to anybody at any time, for sure. I can force and face all objections. But it's very hard when someone says, I only have 400 euros and you want 4K. So I was like, okay, I need to learn how to challenge that objection and make sure I get a good outcome. So I went and a good friend of mine, Nick Butler, who has a website agency right now, Ireland Website Design, and he also has an e-learning platform. But he said, I'm doing this course. It's called the 10K Blueprint. Go do the course, Owen. And he said it to me year 1. I didn't do it. And I never sold a website more than 10K for that year. And then he messaged me again, I'm doing great, Owen. Do the 10K Blueprint. And I did it. And every single website after that, I didn't sell less than $10,000. Wow. That was the thing. You did the course, you spent 8 weeks, you worked hard for 8 weeks, and at the end of it, you had the objection skill. Like, you give me an objection, I would counter the objection. I would leave you with, an outcome that you'd be thinking about, and you would call me within 30 minutes or an hour and say, okay, let's do the deal. And you'd write me a check for 30%, So I did that, and it changed my whole mindset. And even to today, when people say, okay, I don't know how to do sales, and they're in a different industry, I will say, do that, just read that. It's about web agencies, but read that 10K Blueprint because it's a full mindset shift. And if everybody did that, it'd be epic.
What do you think to the skill set of sales? I've always said, a lot of people, they don't want to be at university, for example, college. This is what they say. Mm-hmm. They want to be either traders or some sort of freedom. And I always suggest for those people because you need a job at the end of the day. You need some sort of income coming in to be able to live out these passions and fuel these passions. And I've always said that sales is that skill set because sales, you can create a large income without the degree, right? And that sales skill set is something you'll take into anything.
Yeah.
Any walks of life. And that's something it's kind of like trading. They always say like, if you're a trader and you've learned to be a trader, that skill set's with you for life. It's the same with sales.
Absolutely.
Like, once you've learned it, and how important has it been for you in your journey?
Well, sales was always in me, but how to extract the best out of your sales approach for the person that is trying to buy from you. Okay, so everybody out there potentially is a customer of yours. So if whatever business line you have, but if I can figure out, okay, I'm meeting you today, I will do my research on you. I'll make sure that I understand what you're about, what your, let's say your mindset is, how you sell, how you approach it. So if you have a funnel, I'll check it out. I will see if there's any weaknesses in it, and I will talk about that. I won't talk about the technology or how much money I'm going to make you. I'll talk to you about the pain points and the pressure points, and I will sell in that fashion. And I think then you'll see that I'm showing value, and I'm building this in your mind. I'm building up a lot of trust because I'm offering my value, fair exchange. I haven't asked you for anything, and I'm giving you this value, and you take that on board. I'm going to go back to the main question. Sales is super important. So when you are employed, you need to walk into that room and you say, okay, great, this is my boss. I'm here to make sure whatever the boss has to sell, that we sell it well. And even if you're just, let's say, for example, you're a HR representative, or you're a customer support agent, or you're let's say the person on the front desk, you're selling. And what are you selling? You're selling your next raise. You're selling your next bonus. And every day that you do that and you think like that, it will just come. You know, you go into the job and you're, let's say, 30K a year. You need to be getting yourself to 35 next year, or you need to be getting yourself that 5K bonus. If you don't have some sales skill set, like when you go down to the coffee room and you say the right thing to the right person, and your name now is brought in the boardroom. You know, I was outside, I heard Owen, he had a great idea. You know, we have these 2 product lines. He said this. What do you think about that? Straight away, now, I go into my review next year, I'm remembered. I get points. I get my bonus, you know? That's sales. That is sales, you know? So everybody should have and do some type of sales course. I think it should be taught very, very early, you know? I think it should be taught very early, like even in primary school. Because I think if we can build that idea that you don't need to go and have a job. You can do something while having a job. You can earn some money passively. You can actually, you know, turn your job into that. You can live, eat and breathe trading if that's what you want to do. But you need a job. You need to do well at it. You need to build up the capital, and then you need to, you know, go take the adventure, go be an entrepreneur or whatever. But sales should be taught like very, very early on.
I love that. And I think it's so true. Like even the person who's not in, say, a sales role can use the same skill set to improve themselves and to climb that ladder. And I think a lot of people, comes down to 2 things, as you mentioned, education, number 1. But secondly as well, laziness as well. Like a lot of people kind of just get comfortable where they are, and they're not willing to sort of do more because they assume like, I'm only getting paid for this. That's their mentality. But then they'll complain about not getting the raise, for example, or not being recognized. But you've highlighted it very, very well. In terms of the EA you mentioned earlier, it's really interesting because I always assumed, because I came into trading around 2016. So it was like 4 or 5 years after you even had that sort of connection and started down that process. I always assumed EAs was something that came along, I think like 2018, 19. I always thought it was like sort of a newer thing, but it seems like it was way back.
Yeah, like MT4, MQL, that's all been around. So there was bots on bots and different strategies for ages, you know. But people learnt early on that you could create this product which drove volume for brands or brokers, and they built their business on that technology. And that's how it should be done, because, you know, I come with a product or a platform and I give a lot of people the ability to build their business on that platform. Obviously the platform makes sales, the broker then makes volume, and everybody's happy. But that's been happening. Yeah, that's been happening for a long time.
Was there a lot of demand even back then as well?
Not really a lot of demand, no. But it was a small network. Like there was, you know, Facebook groups and stuff like that. And people were saying, hey, buy my bot. And then they would, I don't know, somehow share money on PayPal or do something like that. But putting it into a website, having a place where you could actually get a subscription and have that sort of license key, that was all pretty fresh, you know. But I remember, like, I wasn't really a good coder, but I said, okay, fine. I went on Friday, went home, installed an instance of WordPress, a very, very simple theme. I think it was the 2014 or 2013 theme, super simple theme. And I just started Googling how to modify a WordPress subscription plugin. So I was learning PHP on the fly over the weekend. And I was asking my brother, because my brother's a coder, like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was like, that's actually it's a pretty good hook. That's great. Yeah, don't forget WordPress API, because you're going to need this, you're going to need that. So I was putting it together. Went in on Monday to my cousin, and he was like, oh yeah, but what if it had this and this and this? And he started, the scope creep was crazy. But yeah, we put it together, and it was the first one. And then people saw it, and, you know, other people wanted it. People in the industry now that are huge.
I can imagine. I can imagine. What was that like though? Like first observing the space. Had you ever heard of Forex before that, or sort of like trading before that?
Absolutely not. So my goal before was, okay, how can I use my agency? Now I know how to sell. I'm selling the same product that I used to sell last year for $400 or 400 euros, and now I'm selling it for a minimum of 10K. How can I take that and build a good lifestyle for myself, my family, my brother? How can we pay our rent? All of these different things. I want to go on a nice holiday. How can I do that? So I just kept increasing my value to the end client, focusing and showing that portfolio to bigger and bigger people. Like the last website I sold ever was in 2019 for 49,000 euros.
Wow.
And it was the exact same product I made in 2010. There was nothing different. It was just my value and my mindset had completely changed, and I was able to extract a lot more out of my client because my value had grown, you know? Not that my skill had grown, not that my product was crazy new or anything like that. I just got you a well-optimized website that was fast, and you would rank on Google, and I would get you more business for that. And they paid me 49 grand for that. I did the project because I thought this would be a cool introduction to the subscription model business, and to see how we could do this commission sharing, because I didn't know anything about affiliation. I knew I wanted I knew I wanted a rev share, but I didn't know anything about it. So this was like, if we do this, we could have the commission business. And that was the first introduction. So box checked, we are in the commission business now. Yes, let's go. Because when we sleep, we make money. Then after, the bot gets sold and the person installs it, you're realizing, where are they installing it? And then you start looking at the other points in the value chain and actually, where's the flow of money? Mm-hmm. And you always look at the flow of money. The start, customer's pocket. End, broker owner's pocket. Okay? Or the liquidity provider pocket. In the middle, there's so many things. And so what you do is, I understand the customer. I know how to get customers. I know how to get customers very well. Mm. I'm not that guy yet. Right? Over there. How can I learn to get that far? And slowly, just build out the technology. But how do you learn best? You go to conferences. So I went down to conferences. The first conference ever in Cyprus, 3 of us went down. And we're walking around and we were like kids in a sweet shop. We had all this technology. We had all these people trying to pitch us. We were just taking all the information, trying to figure it out. Yeah, give me a demo. We spent the next couple of weeks just taking demo after demo after demo after demo after demo, learning all the platforms. We already knew that we needed we needed to get a relationship with MetaQuotes. We needed to get a relationship with a good bridge provider. We needed all of these things eventually. But first thing we needed was a CRM. We needed to learn the CRM business, because when the client, it's called a 0 moment of truth. Client is about to do something. What they do is they Google it. They check it out. They find a trusted party. Now they're in the first step after. So they are about to purchase. They research, then they purchase. We knew that we could get the people that were about to purchase for sure, because we were good at optimization for search and stuff. Then we needed the next point of interest for them, which is they're going to deposit their money into a trader's room. So instead of going and saying, I'm going to be the broker, I'm going to be the LP, I'm going to be this guy, no. So let's just get the next piece of technology that the customer needs. And we focus just on that.
Definitely. In terms of CRM, just for the audience, can you break that down? Like, what does that look like? What does that entail?
So when a trader decides to trade, they need to do one thing. They need to find a platform or broker or prop that they want and they trust. So they go to YouTube. They say, I want to learn how to trade. They find maybe an influencer player in the market, and they have a course. They go and they understand they need MT4, so they check a broker. Okay, but they need to log in somewhere, because when a trader decides to trade, they need to log into a CRM, a customer relations management tool. They need to deposit, KYC, all of these things, create an MT4 account or TradeLocker account or whatever, and then they need to go and trade. So they need to do those 4 things. That's it. Anything beyond that is just clunky. And that's what everybody else did. They created these systems with 50 different features when a trader needs 4 things. That's how we started, and we made a CRM with those 4 things, and we never changed it ever. Still to today, it's the same.
One thing I'm picking up on based on what you're saying and sort of breaking down is that you're quite aware of pain points, looking at where issues are or where things are elongated and just too clunky, as you said, and just too complex when it can be simplified, or where things are not efficient enough. Would you say that's something you've always had, naturally had? Like, was that something back in the hospitality days? 'Cause I used to work in hospitality as like a waiter, etc. And I used to always be on the lookout for like, this guy hasn't got his order, or this is wrong, or is that something that comes from there, or is it something else? Let's take a break for a minute there, guys, because I want to tell you about the best trading tool on the market, TradeZeller. The reason why TradeZeller is the #1 trading tool that every trader needs is because you can do backtesting, automated journaling, trade replay, in-depth analytics, and so much more. And the greatest part about TradeZeller is that it's all automated. All you have to do is connect your MT4 and MT5. It will pull all your data onto the dashboard. You can add playbooks. You can just add notes. You can add images from your trades, and you can get the insights that is necessary for you to progress as a trader. Now, TradeZeller is for absolutely everyone. Whether you're a crypto trader, whether you're a Forex trader, whether you trade prop firms, it is for absolutely everyone. And that is why thousands of traders have signed up using my link here through the podcast. Make sure you use the code RIZ10 for 10% off your monthly subscription, or WOR for 20% off your yearly subscription. The link is in the description below. And let's get back to the episode.
I think I said earlier on that people should learn about how to sell early. I think everybody also should go and work in a bar or a restaurant once in their life for 3 months. Because when you step behind a bar and you're doing a function with 200 people, you're looking at optimizations and you're looking around. There's my ice. there's my my alcohol, there's my pints, there's my glasses. Okay, how can I do this better? If I need to go down there and get a bottle of whatever from the bottom shelf, how can I get it fast without bumping into things? And you optimize your workstation, you know, and that then translated into websites. And the rule is, if you can't do it in 2 clicks, it's stupid, you know. So if I can't get from website, landing page to purchase, that's 2 clicks, I haven't done my job right. I've failed you. So that's literally what I focused on. And now keeping that optimization of the workstation, optimization of your website and your user journey in to the funnel, it translated to all of our product range. And every single, like I said, State of the Nation on Friday, we log into our platforms, we log into our technology, we log into our partners' platforms and technology, and we feedback constantly. We loop feedback to everybody always. And we'll fix things when we see, we pushed something, let's say, for example, and it was like, doesn't really sit well, it's 3 clicks, it's not nice, the button should be on that side because the person's thumb usually is their right-handed, why is it there, you know? And we'll fix it for the next week.
So that's the level of detail you're looking at.
Absolutely. I live inside my product range, you know?
I love that. State of the Nation. I love that.
State of the Nation, yeah.
Where did that stem from? Like, what was the, you know?
Well, I think it's a huge political thing.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know, State of the Nation.
Yeah.
Usually, you know, when someone comes into office 100 days, they do this big, you know, State of the Nation. What did they achieve? What didn't they achieve? And they rag on them, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So it came from that. So Monday, it's top of the week. You know, you're hungry. You've had your weekend. You're well rested. You've enjoyed your family time. Now it's Monday. Now it's about business. Now it's about sales. So you're hungry. So you set yourself accountabilities. And on Friday, State of the Nation is saying what you didn't do and saying what you did do, and holding yourself accountable to yourself, but to your business partners. So at the State of the Nation, you have to say, guys, on Monday I said I'm going to do these 4 things. I only did 2, guys. But if I got help from you next Monday, I think I could achieve them all. That's what State of the Nation is about. Because when you think about it, if you have a bunch of people that you can communicate to and, you know, share your accountabilities, and you'll get help. Like me, Luca, Jason and Gary, we go to the gym every single day. Every single day together. We wake up, we have our morning coffee together, we go to the gym together. And then we go into the office and we do all of our meetings. At the end of a meeting, we go outside. How was the meeting? How was it? Can you make it better? What did you say? Can I give you feedback on your meeting? Constantly just addressing the things
So
that
the mastermind concept.
Yeah, and we call it like a bit of a wolf pack.
Yeah.
There's only one way to get into the wolf pack. Do you want to know it?
I'm not sure if I do, but I'll say yes.
You have to make sure that we all eat. So, you know, the point is, if you want to be in the wolf pack, you have to bring meals. So what is that? That's business. That's value. That's something to the table that we're missing. And you can get in, but you have to bring it. And the day that you eat and you don't bring any value is the day that you leave.
Interesting. How's that been, that sort of journey in terms of, obviously, I guess it started with you and your brother.
Me and my brother, my cousin.
Now you have, and your cousin, sorry, and now there's a much larger team of, say, partners at that level, but then you have a huge team when it comes to employees, I imagine.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And what's that been like in that journey? I'm currently, you know, being in the space, how long I've been in it, but being in like the podcasting side, prop firm side, has only been probably about a year, so it's not been a long time.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm experiencing like bad partners, bad business people, and having to deal with issues that are outside of my control that other people are doing, but it reflects badly on me.
Of course.
And, you know, it's something that I'm learning, thankfully. I'd rather learn it now than, say, 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
But what's it been like for you? Have you had to go through those processes? How did you handle that? You know, if you had bad business partners that you had to then think, okay, you know, what was your sort of thought process and learning points?
Yeah, so I've probably failed about 4 times. And obviously I've recovered 4 times. I take failure very, very well, and I take it well because I have my brother, I have my cousin, and I have the guys, you know. The wolf pack, you know, at one point would have been 8 people, and now it's only 4, and 5 when we're all together because, you know, we're around the world. But yeah, you can see there's 3 people that left, you know, and they left for their reasons. But we still work with those people, and the reason they're not there is because they moved on, they grew. They changed they pivoted, they changed their business, you know. That's how that works. But when you have this failure point, I'll go back to the web agency and I'll explain the failure. Myself and my brother were growing, we were learning. I was doing some coding, I was doing a lot of sales, Jason was coding and even doing design work, and we got a project and we said, wow, this could be the one, you know. And the guy was like, on our website, we decided the week before to put up a little budget range to see, you know, and the guy clicked 40,000 euros, and we were like, wow, this is big budget. Okay, great, let's hear him out. He had a very well presented document. He wanted to create a marketplace, and we said, okay, let's give it a go. Unfortunately, we didn't have the skills to do it, but we thought we could hire. Because when you hire well, you can achieve a lot. And we had hired a great designer, which was fantastic. But we didn't have the skills to build what he wanted, so we outsourced a bit. Anyway, long story short, 40K was spent, product wasn't delivered. That was a failure, you know. But we went back to the client, listen, this is where we're at, this is what we've got left. Take what it is, we're going to repay you the 40K because we made a mistake, and we never, ever, ever took on a project that we could not build. If Jason couldn't build it, or I couldn't build it, we would say no to you. And if we said no to you, then we would go away and we'd research, up our skills, so we could, if we got another client that said, hey, I want that, we'd be like, yes, we can do it now. So when you have these failures, the key thing is to go away, learn. You need to have the failures, because if you don't, you won't have the lesson from the failure, right? Because when you lose, it's a lesson. That's what it is. It's not actually a loss. It's going to make you better for the next thing. But you have to come back stronger. Don't walk away, because you don't know what the opportunity you're leaving on the table. Someone comes around and hits you hard, get back up, because you're going to be able to block it next time. You know, you're going to have a comeback. Definitely.
And you know, that mindset is interesting though, because a lot of people, when they fail, they sort of don't learn from it. They just stay there, and I don't know why. You know, I've had moments where I'm in a state of what could be deemed as failure or potential failure is on the horizon, and you feel that stress. And for a moment, I'll be in that stressful state. You know, it feels like overwhelming. You're still pushing though, and then you push to a point where then it's like that overwhelming feeling's gone. You kind of, I guess that your tolerance has risen in that moment.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And therefore now your stress tolerance and your ability to handle this chaos has suddenly risen, and therefore it doesn't bother you as much. Is that something you've experienced as well?
Yeah, so like over the years, those big setbacks. So this was a huge one. Like, do we do this? Do we go back to work in the family business? What do you do? You know, and you make a choice. Then you have the next one, and you've learned how to handle the stress. You've learned how to handle that big problem. I remember at one point I was like waking up, not able to eat. I was so stressed about it, not able to sleep, not able to eat in the morning, you know, going in with, you know, my head down and things like that. But then you get to a point where you're just like, fuck it, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm able to breathe. Okay, let's move on. There's a solution here. And the simplest solution in that point of my biggest failure was talking to the guy that gave me the project. I just talked to him, and then I realized he's human. I'm human. You know, he's not going to do anything bad to me. I've explained myself, you know, and then I learned that. When you have that moment where it's okay, you need to explain what's going on. There's no point in, you said something about bad business partners, or someone maybe did something incorrect in a business. Okay, yeah, you did something bad. Okay, but let's talk about it, and let's see how you can exit this business appropriately so that everybody lives and everybody moves on, you know. And it's not this case of, okay, we close the business down, because you've created something great. Even though there was that mistake, you've still created something great. There's something there that's great. But yeah, you build up a crazy tolerance. Like, let's go back to trading. 2022, actually maybe 2021, late 2021, letter from MQ, one of our white labels, going to be closed. 24 hours notice. Why? That's it. No phone number. What? Hello? We're not talking to you. Why not? So unfortunately we had to tell the client, and we had nowhere for them to go. We were like, okay, we messed up. We're the technology provider, and we messed up. So we've built this thing called Trader API, which now has every single platform in it, every single bridge in it, every single payment gateway that you could imagine is there. So when these things happen, you can quickly bring a solution to the table. But we said to ourselves, wow, if this letter was given to everybody in the prop space and everybody in the Forex space, where are they going to go? And me and my brother, my cousin, were sat at the table, and we're like, well, we could just stop now, guys, or we could figure something out. And we decided then we're going to invest our money, our effort, what we did, because our scrappy mindset in the beginning to build a company and build a product and offer it and take a risk, that was our risk. And we put that out, and we white labeled it, you know, we put our money in it. And we said, okay, fine. We did very good by doing that. We know how to build it. We know how to make it. We were missing key partners, but we know how to make it, because we've been doing this for 10 years. We took a plunge, put a lot of money, a lot of resources. We built a fantastic team with the guys who we'll meet a little bit later. And TradeLocker was born. And we spent a year behind the desk. Nobody knew what was going on. And we came out, we did our first trade. I did the first trade in Dubai. I was sitting on a cabana in the Bulgari. I was doing a trade, and I was like pumped. I was hyped. I've never traded before. I've traded 3 times. Legitimately, I've traded 3 times. The first time was TradeLocker, to give feedback, because I wanted to feel the pressure of it not working as a trader. I wanted to understand the emotive state I would be in if I didn't understand where the buy, the sell, the limit, the order, the lot calculator, the risk management. So I wanted to understand as a trader with my money, by the way. I put 10K into this, a brand new platform. I put 10K into it, and I learned how to use it. And we gave feedback. And then my brother, my cousin, my business partners, we all started to use it that weekend. You should have seen us that weekend. We still have some of the footage. It'll come out later on. We were all hyped. We were like, fuck, we just created something great, you know? But it had tons of bugs. We got through it before we had a real customer on it. And it was amazing. The next time I traded was when it was officially live. It was officially launched, and we had people on it. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do this as well. And I wanted to figure out, because what we were missing was we didn't have any copy trading, we didn't have any algos, we had no indicators, we didn't really have anything. We just had a trading platform which had the most basic features for a trader to be on the market and to trade. They could do some simple risk management, they could deposit, withdraw, all these cool things, and they could trade. So went to ChatGPT, wrote a couple of lines into ChatGPT, said build me a Pine script, popped it into TradingView, had a bit of an indicator, buy, sell. I was doing so I don't know if you know, but TradingView has machine learning strategy built in. A lot of people don't know that, but you can do some quite cool things by using that strategy, okay? It's like a library. So I wrote this, and I started taking trades based on my indicator that I made, and I made $380,000. And I'd never really traded, but I was learning the platform, and I was using this indicator. And we literally went back to the co-founders, and we were like, look what I just did with ChatGPT and TradeLocker. Yeah. How can you put it together? How can you put ChatGPT into TradeLocker? And that's what TradeLocker Alpha is going to be. It's a studio for people who want to create robots or want to create indicators and strategies. That was the second time I traded. And again, just trying to figure it out, get the bugs, and now we're here with, I think well over 100,000 traders on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a short space of time. So, and you haven't, I wouldn't say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you've done any hard promotion or anything like that. I've not seen any ads. It's never really been in my face. I've really only seen traders using it.
Yeah, so we went grassroots, like with everything. We know how to get users. Like we've built products. I've had products with 350,000 people in it and sold them. And we know how to do that, and we know how to do it very well. So we just went to the users. What do they need? What do they want? They all got turned off. They all had no trading platform. Where are they going? They're looking, they're searching, they're going on Google. And Luca can explain as well, because it's he's a growth hacker, and hopefully you'll speak to him at some point.
Definitely.
On this platform. It'll be amazing. But he'll get into it. But yeah, we went to the people that want the platform. We asked them, what do you want? We put literally our website up. We put a bunch of things to develop, and we let people vote. We created a Discord, let them vote, and we built what they wanted. When you have the traders and they have brokers, and the broker doesn't have the platform that they want, they go to their broker, they go to their prop. You haven't got TradeLocker, I'm not trading with you. And all of a sudden the brokers start hitting you up. So you don't have to do any ads when you do that.
Definitely. No, definitely. And would you say that moment, even though it was probably a stressful time at that time, when you received that call or letter from MetaQuotes to say, we're not going to work with that firm anymore. It seemed stressful, but it was it gave you the chance to sort of open your eyes to what is a potential reality for other props or brokers, which then obviously ended up happening now in the last 2-3 months. All props have been pretty much taken away from MetaQuotes and left to a lot of them struggling. A lot, from what I can see, a lot of them struggling to find platforms and
I think it's it's extremely stressful time. At the time, I was very lucky that I have a very well diversified portfolio of businesses. If you check out my website, you can see that. So I'm not pinned to trading, but I knew it wasn't fair. And if someone's going to be able to give something back to make sure that there is that level trading field, it's going to be us. So we took the chance, we took the risk. The year before, 2 years before, you said you got into Forex in 2015-16, right?
16, yeah.
And you were trading your live account.
Yeah.
Okay. So like many others, and we were in that space, and we were providing services for people who have brokers. We were providing services for people who wanted to get onboarded to a broker, so traders and everything like that. But we noticed that there was a downturn in your own account, your live trading. You're taking money out of your pocket, putting it into a broker and trading. There was a sort of a pivot down. We could see on our analysis. We were like, what's going on? there's a shift in the market. And again, it's typically around Christmas when we're on our holidays and we're seeing these things. What's happened? Prop industry was born. You know, it was started with I think it was, is it Top Step? Or who was the first?
May have been Top Step in futures, yeah.
Yeah, or the 5%ers, was it?
Yeah, I think 5% is Top Step, FTMO, like they were like the ones
FTMO,
back then.
the amazing product, amazing company, fantastic. But yeah, they had created this product, and there was a movement of resources from live trading accounts, your own capital, to prop trading. Now, when you're in business the way we are, we have analysts and we have data and we have layers and layers of data, and we have people telling us what's happening in our systems, okay? And we could see the shift. So we were like, we haven't got a product for that. We're not ready. And first movers usually get the first money, but if you move first doesn't mean you're always going to be right. First movers, they create problems because they haven't thought about it all the way. They just thought that that's what the people wanted. So when you have some first movers or you have an incumbent supplier, you have a lot of research right in front of you. You can see all of their pain points. You can see what they did, what they didn't do, and you can make something better. So we came to the space maybe 2 years late, but we launched our first product. We spent 1 year making this, but me and my brother, you know, we went back to basics. When you have these adversities, go back to basics. Me and my brother sat shoulder to shoulder. I made a WordPress website. Jason made a React web app. We launched our own prop on one of our brands. We made $1.8 million over Christmas. We paid for our holiday. You know?
How expensive was your holiday?
About $1.8 million. Yeah, when I go away, I go away.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Like right now, I'm staying in the Royal Atlantis in the penthouse suite. It's like $18K a night.
Wow. But
I'm staying there 5 days, and I have my whole crew with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we roll. But anyway, back to the point. We missed the boat. Yeah. That doesn't mean that we have to stop. What we're going to do is let the Forex business that we had go down and let something else rise. Not really, because we have the users. We have the business owners. So what we do is we always just talk to our business owners. Would you be interested in this? And some of them had already started props. And we're like, okay, well, why didn't you talk to us about it? Okay, we didn't talk to you about it because we didn't think. We just went there. That's great, fantastic. If I told you now, okay, give me a white piece of paper, all your pain points over the table, I'll make something for you. We went away. A year later, came back. It's made, and everybody came back to us.
Really?
And now we have both sides of the industry, you know. And I think there's going to be a point where you have people that are going to get education, and it's going to be about props like Dovey. He was on your podcast, I believe.
It's yet to come out at this point, but by the time this one comes out, it'll probably be out.
Yeah, so me and him were always talking, you know, and he was telling me. But he's got a fantastic thing right now, which is his mentorship for props. And it's really, really good. We've just done a deal with him, which will be out when this is out for sure. But the thing about it is, that's going to be great for props, and the person is going to go, they're going to do a challenge. Typically a person does 2 to 3 challenges. Typically that's the life cycle of the before you get funded. You get the confidence, you understand the rules and stuff like that, and you choose a trusted partner. Then you get your funded account. You get like 100, 200K, and you're like, this is great, you know, I'm making trades, I'm making 3, 4, 8K a month out of my funded account. You're saying to yourself, maybe I take 1K and put it in my live account. I trade that up and I make 2K, 3K over there over the next 1 or 2 months. I feel that there's going to be a space where people who get funded will always have their live account. They will always have their live account and they will still do it. They will always have their prop. They will always try props, but they'll have both. They'll have both for sure. It's not like this sort of one side or the other. It's at a point now where you should have both. You should paper trade, obviously, constantly just refining yourself, refining your risk management, understanding strategies. Reading, okay, people say don't trade news, people say do this, do that, but like, just the truth about it is do everything constantly educate yourself on everything, because something happens, a war happens, there's a resource shift, there's a movement of one currency to another currency. A war breaks out, people buy oil because maybe the oil goes. War breaks out, people buy gold. Basically, it's constantly just the shift of money from one thing, asset, to another asset. So you need to know all that. You can't be trading on your account over here with closed, you know, blinkers on. You need to constantly be educating yourself. And that's why I think live account, demo account, and prop.
Definitely. Do you feel like the ecosystem should be that the props are offering all of this? You know, in one sort of ecosystem?
I think there is like a fine line. We saw what happened with some of these big blow-ups, and there'll be a lot of learning from that. There'll be a lot of case law developed on the back of what's going to come, and there will be some US law, and there will be some European law, and there will for sure be regulation. we have our own prop. It's fully A-book, real funds, a liquidity provider. That's third party from us. That is kind of, it's all an unknown area. So like, I don't know the right answer, but I do expect the big brokers, the FX pros of these world, they're contacting us now to see how they can put it in. You know, we might create a second brand. Maybe we'll do it on the same brand. They've got big lawyers down in Cyprus because they're CISIC regulated in their other regulations saying, okay, what can you do, what can't you do? I have a South African broker. I'm not allowed to have prop connected to the broker because of the legislation down there. So you have to understand all of the legal frameworks first. And I think with the big cases that are going out, even though it's, let's call it a shit show, we'll all learn something from it. Unfortunately, a lot of people will have lost money, which is true. But the outcome will be that we will know the game we're in. And that's what it's doing. It's going to create a two-tiered system, unregulated, regulated. That's what it's going to create. And that's what happened in Forex, and it's going to happen in props.
Definitely. Well, that's actually kind of leads me on to my next question, which is like, you've been in the space for a while now, and you've probably seen, you know, this happen many times just in different areas for different reasons. So do you feel like there's always mass panic when these sort of things happen? Especially because I think of the lack of understanding, lack of maybe experience, of not experiencing it before. Some people do over leverage themselves, even in the prop, space. They're buying things they can't afford to buy necessarily, so therefore the emotions are going to be high. But as someone who has the experience and has been in the space for quite some time, would you say this is essentially a very normal sort of growing pain, if you will, something that's necessary almost for the industry to experience?
Yeah. If you look at every industry, there's always these moments. Like even in Forex, when a currency depegs, these black swan events, we all learn from it. People lose money, people make money. Okay, because you understand the problem, you wait for the outcome, and then you get on the right side of it. That's that's what business is about.
Yeah.
When it comes to Forex, yes, it happened. If you look at gambling went to the States. They changed their mind. They said no, it's illegal. You can't do any online gambling. Okay, they created stake.
Yeah.
Perfect. There's always a solution. And now there's going to be legislation. Prop, it's going to happen the same thing. People are going to start talking about it. The right people need to get in the room, and I hope that they go to the Rizzes of this world and they go, hey, what are the problems? What are your traders saying? And at the end of the day, it's all trust. It's all trust. It's communication. It's transparency. Put the right people in a room. Get 10 or 20 people that are leading the industry. Put them in a room and come out with a document at the end. That's called legislation. That's called framework. And then put it around the world. And I think in a few countries, I think Europe will have one first. But yeah, there'll be a few countries. You're going to have some European legislation quite soon.
Yeah, I can imagine. And one question that I do want to ask you is, as you've probably seen from our industry, especially the prop firm side, is a lot of people have been able to start props who don't have, say, such broker experience or sort of institutional experience or any experience on that side of things. Then you have people who've started like technology providing who also don't have tech experience, right? Design experience. They usually just see a business that is viable and then they start it. And what we're seeing within the audience and the industry is a lot of, they're vilifying these people, right? Maybe rightfully so as well. I feel like a lot of people maybe don't have ill intentions. They're just not adequate enough to handle these things that are, when issues arise. It's easy to run something when everything's smooth and easy and on the climb. But as soon as there's like that pullback or as soon as there's issues that happen, they're not adequately experienced enough to sort of handle that. What are your thoughts as someone who provides technology, provides these solutions, who has the experience? What are your thoughts when you see this? Or, what would your advice to the sort of audience and the traders out there who are sort of having these thoughts?
I think the word risk management is the exact same thing. So in trading, risk management is making sure that you protect yourself from a significant loss, okay? When you are about to become a technology provider or you're about to become a business owner, you need to do that risk assessment. It's like a cost-based analysis. Is this worth my time? Is this worth my resources? Can I handle it if I break something? Okay? Now, when I do things, I make sure I'm very well capitalized. I will not start unless I'm well capitalized. I'll come with a project. I'll come with a plan. It's going to cost 10 million. I'll make sure I have the 10 million. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to ask anybody for 10 million. I'm going to make sure I have it because I don't want to let you down. I don't want to fail you. And I don't want to have that thing on my mind where, again, I'm back to the 40K project that I didn't do. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. So I think if every business person did that, say, okay, fine, it's going to cost 400K to do this. go trade, go work, go do something, build up the capital to make sure that you can protect yourself and anybody that joins you on the product or on the platform, that you respect them, and that if something goes wrong, you can pay them. So one thing that we fully believe in, and we've lived by it, is if our tech fails, we pay. That's it. That's our belief. And I think that's only right. And if you're not in that position, don't do it. Rent the product, rent the platform, rent the service. Focus on what you're good at. If you're good at getting an audience, go get the audience and rent it from someone that can protect your traders when they come. And find the right partner.
The right partner, 100%. I think that is a very interesting thing, especially in our industry. I think in every industry, of course, in business as a whole, but especially in our industry because of the fact that there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of emotions already high.
Yeah.
That those bad partnerships, I've seen it many, many times within the influencer space alone, where people are partnered up on, say, a mentorship or whatever service, and then they end up not liking each other for whatever reason, and they break apart, and the people that normally get hurt in the end are the traders, the people who are just wanting to grow or learn. And it's an unfortunate thing. It's something that it's like a cycle of life, though, to one degree. One thing I wanted to ask you, I don't know if anyone has asked you or if you're willing to share, but you talked about building TradeLocker, and financing yourself. How much did it cost to get TradeLocker started?
Okay, so early days, it's a lot. Like, it's over 10 million.
Really?
Yeah. I the way I work is I count the effort, the travel, the expenses, the meeting, the people. Like, I'm the sales, I'm the marketing with Luca and with Jason, with Gary. They're all doing their other things. We're building the product together. Shane's doing his bar for trading, which you're looking at like $16 million. $16 million.
Wow.
And we're not even there yet. Like, TradeLocker Studio, TradeLocker is gonna have a savage product coming out, which is like about social sharing. It's about engaging. It's about copy trading. There's so much cool things that are coming, and like I said before, we're ready. We're capitalized. We're prepared. And one thing we want to do is make sure that everybody just understands that with what we're creating, it's to make sure that it's a level trading field, not a playing field, trading field. If you're a trader, you have a safe platform. If you're a bot creator, you have a safe platform. If you're a broker, you have a safe platform. If you're a prop owner, you have a safe platform. That's it. Build your ecosystem on TradeLocker.
What are your thoughts when you've seen like the lack of innovation, especially as a designer yourself and someone who's been in that side of the industry too? Yeah. It's like, when you see the lack of innovation, what do you think that is? Do you think it's just laziness? Do you think it's just because they've cornered like a huge chunk of the market?
Yeah, just about the trading space. When you when you have an incumbent supplier that doesn't change anything, then when you are a different product owner, so you're a competing platform, and this is a cool mindset, right? When your biggest competitor doesn't change anything ever, your board of your product will always cut all your budgets for innovation, because they're not doing anything. We don't need to do it. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Don't talk to me about innovation. They're not doing it. Don't do it. And we just came at it. Okay, great. That's our starting point. What they've been doing for 15 years is our starting point. So we came out on the market with what they had for 15 years. That's our starting point. Imagine what we're going to do in 1 year more.
Definitely. And I got a brief demo, thankfully, before we started today. I've been meaning to. I really have. And I had AJ on the podcast recently as well, speaking very highly of TradeLocker. And
that man has a big mind shift. He's completely TradeLocker.
Well, there's a term he used. I don't know if you want me to use it, but he was basically saying like it's a meta trader killer. Is what he was saying. Yeah. And I was like, that's big words. Those big words. But seeing the demo, it is, is what is necessary. It's what you would assume as a trader. Let's say if someone didn't know about trading, in my head, if I was to go, okay, what would a platform look like? How would it look like to trade? It would be like modern. It would be sleek. It would be very, good on the eyes in comparison to what we've been used to.
Yeah.
Right?
So we looked to the crypto industry. That's what we looked to, and Luca and the team, everybody behind, did deep research. And if you look at our platform, you can definitely say you see where everything is. And you can use it as you want to use it. You can move your assets, hide them all. You can bring your order history and all your everything, and you just get rid of it. You can bring up a floating order panel. You have risk management teed in, so if you want to risk only $100, that's it, it's done. You can just move your stop loss up and down, and the lock calculator is already there. That's usually a premium feature on most platforms. give the people what they want. And we made it with, we have a lot of experience in platforms, like I said, but like, we looked at an industry that is innovating because they have to be innovative. Because if you're in the crypto industry and you're an exchange, you're DEX, you're centralized, whatever you are, you're making something cool because you want the attention, you know? So we looked there. And it's like, it's so obvious, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Now when you've said it is,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. But even then, it's like it takes that visionary. And one thing I want to ask you in terms of that is that, you know, that's a lot of risk. You know, it's a large sum of capital to get it started, but equally it's a lot of risk because a lot of people would probably look at the industry and look at the key players right now, or as it were, and be like, yeah, no one's disrupting that. Everyone's used that same platform for forever. You know, everyone's used to that platform. Every user uses that. And, you know, what was that mindset to say, fuck it, we're going to go in anyway?
We never really think of okay, obviously someone that's owned the industry for 15 years, like in a way, you know, monopolized it or whatever like that. We didn't think about that. We just said, okay, what if we don't do it? We're fine. I'm fine. But what if we do it and we succeed? You know, the things that we could do, the stuff that we can achieve, the level that we can get to if we succeed. And when you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do it, and okay, 16 million is a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not a lot of money at the same time. Okay? I'm not like trying to say it's small money, but it's not at the same time for what you're about to do. You know? Think about it. Like if you look at some of these incumbent platforms, they're making $20 million a month in terms of fees, and their price is only going up. And every time it goes up is because you can come out and say computer chips are more expensive, so we're going to charge you an extra $1,000, please. You know, all of these different cool things that they like to come up with. But what if we do something and we can disrupt all of that and bring a level trading field so that you don't have to be stressed as a business owner? Like, I don't know right now, but you know, you have a fantastic product, you have a fantastic platform. Are you happy? Are you stressed? Is there anything that you need? You know, you should be able to go to the market and just be like, click, 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 I'm safe. But the other way, it's not. It's someone else has got the keys to your car. You're only renting it, even though you own it. It's not nice.
That's a great analogy. You know, very fitting indeed. And, you know, it's so interesting that you have developed this in the perfect time, you know?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it? Do you think it was like was that a plan, or was it just like a divine timing sort of thing?
No, like I said, we started a number of years ago. Me and my business partners have been very lucky. Time has been on our side. But anytime I say that, I always say to myself, yeah, but you had something to offer as well. So investing 2 years before a doomsday event isn't lucky.
Yeah.
That's being prepared.
It's a risk as well.
Yeah. But if you're not prepared to pivot your business every single day that you wake up, you're not doing business, man.
Definitely. What would you say, you know, in terms of, you know, starting out from very young, starting with websites, or hospitality to websites, to then obviously this huge progression and the level ups in business and the business acumen, like what would you say has really been the thing that's pushed you and allowed you to sort of have that mentality? Because a lot of people, like, I'm very young in business. You know, I'm lucky enough to be self-aware enough to understand I'm very naive when it comes to business. I'm still very young in my business journey, but I'm also, I like to back myself too, in a sense, you know what I mean? So like, I know I'm still learning loads, so I know I'm going to have to go through some moments, and I'm sure there's loads of people out there in that situation. There's loads of people who have a fantasy of business, which I did before I came into business. My fantasy was you become a businessman, freedom. That was my fantasy, you know, and I had to learn took a big loss on like a physical company, like a corner shop, basically, like off license. But my mentality was, once you have a business, you're free. You know, one business leads to 2, 3, 4. You know,
more stress, more sleepless nights.
Exactly. So what's been the thing for you to learn and grow at such a level?
Yeah.
You know, keep that mindset, as you say, of like being able to wake up and be able to pivot, be open to pivot at any moment.
Yeah. Okay. So the simple answer is hire smarter. That's it. The second you hire smarter and you hire your first individual, your first employee, that's when you know that you're going to be successful. A lot of people start their business and they do it all themselves and they crash, because if you're the sales engine for your business and you're building your product, you're not selling your business. You're not selling anything. Okay. So if you have someone that's building your product, you hire someone smart, they're building a product, they're smarter than you, and you're the sales engine. Now you have 2 people, you got 40 hours of time that week for that business. And that's the simple thing. So I quit college 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. I went to college, went there, said, fuck this, I want money. And I went to work. And then I said, okay, I need to get a degree. And I went back the following year. I quit college 4 times, and then I ended up having to go back as a mature student, and then I quit that too because I wanted to make some money.
So 5 times?
Yes. Technically 5 times. But eventually I just said, okay, I need a backup plan. So I did get a degree when I was 28.
Wow.
I got a degree, did like a 4-year degree in 2 years at nighttime. So I did all my day job, did all my work, ran my businesses, and then studied at nighttime. But yeah, the first thing we did was hire smart. Got a designer. That means I didn't have to design anymore. I could just focus on getting clients. So we had a designer, a developer, and a salesperson. And that's the business acumen that I had at that time. And now I realize, okay, cool. If I'm selling, I'm networking. And if I'm making contacts, like Grant Cardone says, they're your contracts, you know? So you're just going out there, and that's what I focused on. Hire the next smarter person. And once you just keep doing that, you'll always win. So I wanted to do some investments. I thought it was great. I got millions, that's great. Let me invest in a studio. Failed. Just about got my money back. Okay, what was my mistake? I didn't listen to my rule from day one. Hire smarter. We hired a CIO, an investment officer. Now it's being ran by a smarter individual. I'm focusing on my sales. I'm making the money, and he's investing. That's the only thing you need to learn. Definitely.
As part of that process.
Oh, by the way, and be willing to sacrifice all your wages to hire that smarter person. So myself and my brother went from 2,000 euros a month. We took 1,000 each from us and gave it to that guy. So he was on more than us. We're business owners. That's how we grew that business to 2.9 million a year.
Wow. And finding smarter though is a difficult, sort of process in itself. Is that something that is literally like a trial and error? Like you find someone, maybe not cut out, you need to be very quick
now it's easy. People are knocking on our door. But back then, no, it was very hard. But how you find someone smarter, go to your local cafe, look around. Okay, so when I was young and starting my business, I knew at one point I would need an overdraft because I would want something from the bank. So I went to the local cafe. I knew that the bank manager, Dorothy, amazing lady, she was running the local bank, and I would always go into the cafe she would drink in. And I was like, okay, cool. One day I'm going to need to buy computers. One day I'm going to need to rent an office. So we typed up a business plan. We called it a working business plan. And it was an MVP business plan. Usually business plans are deep. We said, okay, how can we get our business model into 20 pages and I can put it on her desk? And you can't just go into the bank and say, give me an overdraft. Especially if you're a new business owner, you need 3 years accounts before they'll open the door to you, all these different things. So I went in with what I knew best. Is there any way we could host a website event and you could invite members of the bank and we could talk about SEO? What a fantastic idea, Owen. That was just when she was paying for her coffee. And she said, come in to me. And I was like, wow, now I have a meeting with the bank manager about SEO, not about my loan or anything like that. And as I was leaving, can I have an account manager or something? I know I'm only starting, but this is my local branch. Oh yeah, cool. Let me introduce you to Brian. Come on up to Brian. Went up to Brian, gave him my business plan. And every year I went back and said, I hit my number, and I got my overdraft. So go to your coffee shop, go to your gym, you'll find your smarter person.
I like that. I never thought of that. I was like, Indeed or some sort of like...
No. That's all from Messrs. Yeah, you're only paying Indeed a recruitment fee. And now recruitment is fantastic. Like we have a very, very good friend, Liam Taff, he's a recruiter, very good, and he's super at it. That's when you're looking for the bulldog. You want to get someone, So I want the CEO of that company to work for me. That's when you go to the recruiter. But when you want to expand your business, you need a designer or whatever like that. You need someone that's a coder. Go down to the coffee shop and just look around. You'll see a guy with code on his screen. What are you building?
Yeah.
That's how we have our crypto gateway.
Really?
Coffee shop.
Wow. It's interesting you say that now because when I think back, I've seen it all the time as well. When I think about on the plane, trader there, charts there, in the gym, MT5 on their phone, for example, whatever it may be.
If I was starting and I wanted to make a lot of money in web agency, I would, instead of spending 5,000 euros on Google Ads, I would buy the most expensive gym membership in my town.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Because in there you're brushing off millionaires, you're in there,
Definitely.
That's what I would do.
In terms of routine, you mentioned earlier about, Monday you're hungry, you're sort of ready for work, and then Friday you have the State of the Nation. Weekends, what's that look like for you? Is the weekend an actual thing, or is it you're still working, you're still sort of ticking over?
Yeah, no. So I'm in a 24/7 business. I have an expectation on myself. My clients have an expectation on me. My partners have an expectation on me. But I have family, I have friends, and I think I divide my time very, very well. My partner Alex would probably say, okay, cool. He's working. She understands, and that's the way it is right now because I'm on a mission. You know, I do dedicate time to my family. I do dedicate time to my friends. I go to the gym every morning with my family, with my friends. But yeah, you should be switched on. If you own something and you're turning your stuff off, like you're turning your phone off or whatever like that, and an emergency happens, that's when you could lose big. That's when you could lose big. So no, just be ready. Like I have some partners that help me with my VSLs, and I have partners that help with like YouTube, and then I got like a camera crew, and I have 36 different companies, you know? And when someone asks a hard question, the owner, the boss, the decision maker, it better answer. And that's just my ethos.
Definitely. How important is routine to you?
Very, very important. Yeah. So I have a Calendly, and I've given my Calendly to probably like 1,000 people, you know, and anybody at any time can just take my Calendly and book a meeting. That's how you book a meeting with me. Don't ask me give me 5 times or dates. No, go to my Calendly, book a slot, I will turn up. That's how it operates. And I have that set. So from 11 o'clock in the day until 3 o'clock in the day, you can book the time. Before 11, it's the wolf pack, the gym, my coffee, pre-meetings. And then after that, it's family time, speaking to friends, passing by the cafe, because I have a cafe, meeting some of the people that hang around there, because like a club. And then, you know, answering messages, emails, that type of stuff. That's how the routine is structured. And I stick to it. And I take that with me. I'm here in Dubai. We all went out yesterday, and we stayed up till 3 o'clock. The day before, 3 o'clock, it's fine. I'm still up at 8 o'clock downstairs in the gym. Doesn't matter. I will be tired, but I got a 7-hour plane. I'm gonna a 7-hour plane on the way home. I'll sleep there.
Yeah.
Andrew was with me, who does all of he's director of content, and he was like, how did you sleep for the entire 7 hours? I was like, you saw what we did last week? We worked all week. I'm sleeping all these 7 hours. And even the people on the plane were like, can we get him some food? And I was like, no, leave him sleep.
Yeah.
So you can sleep then.
How important is it to love what you do? You know, because like when you're working every day at such a high pace for years and years, you know, if you don't enjoy what you do, I can imagine that you won't do it. You won't be able to last that long. Yeah. But how important do you enjoy what you do, first of all? And you know, how important is that to you?
I love what I do, and what I do is I'm a communicator, I'm a salesperson. You give me a product that I believe in, that I can back, that I understand. So like that's why I use TradeLocker, so I can understand every inch of it, and I know where it's been, I know its backlog, I know where it's going. And once you live, eat, breathe your product, and you can sell it, there's no reason to not love that. Like you have something that you can take anywhere. If everything failed tomorrow, I could go work for you. And I will make you a lot of money, and I get myself back to where I was, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I love what I do, because I have an applicable skill that can go anywhere in the world. I literally walked around a VIP Motors in Dubai, got noticed. I have a meeting today at 5 o'clock for my product, because that person asked me one question: hey, I have this problem, what do you think I should do? And I said, you have good resources, but you want to conquer the world. You're not going to do it. This is my advice. Focus on the thing that you've said, which is your biggest pain point, and put all of your energy on that and rent the rest. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How can he build just that? Because I can help him build it. He can use our APIs, and he can build it, and he can rent the rest. Go to the Cyprus conference and rent a CRM, rent a payment gateway, do that, and pay small fees. Focus on that. Now you've got IP. You've truly got IP. And now you can go off and you get multiple. And that's what my meeting's about today at 5 o'clock.
How often does that happen to you in terms of like spontaneous?
Every single day.
Really?
Every single day.
Is that an enjoyable aspect?
I love it.
Yeah.
I answer all my DMs. Like if you look at in my DMs, it's like I only talk to blue ticks, you know, and it's all these people asking me questions, and I love it. You know, if I can give value, if I can give something like a lesson learned, it will come to something. We will do business one time. I don't have to sell you today. Hey, take my product. You know, like I reached out to one of the biggest competitors that we probably have in the space right now, and I sent him a message. Hey, I got a bunch of leads, people asking for your product. I don't have it. Can I send you over my leads? I didn't ask for anything. I just want to give it, because what's the point? People want that. Go use it, and they should have it. That's my ethos, and eventually it'll loop back and we'll do business.
Where does that ethos come from, though? Because in this game, I've seen cutthroat people. I've seen people who, like, even just in the level of course selling, people bickering with each other because, like, oh, you're trying to take my clients. You're trying to bring me down to sell. No. So, like, at your level, it's a huge, whole different ball game. Yeah. Such larger numbers in comparison. So where does that ethos come from?
I think I was just, like, my parents and my dad. My dad is an entrepreneur, and he always had, really, really smart people around. just listening to people. I worked for a great guy called Martin Rowe, taught me a bunch of things. My grandfather on my mum's side taught me how to be a gentleman and how to treat people well. Just those things, like your elders, that's where it comes from. I don't talk bad about anybody. You'll never catch me doing it. I believe in it. I have one thing, and it's probably like an old saying, but the tide lifts all boats. And what's the mean? It doesn't matter how big my yacht is or how big yours is. When the tide is moving, we're both rising. And when it falls, we both fall. So when you destroy an industry with your bickering and your infighting, you've just shot yourself in the face, you know? And if you look to the left or right of you, who's surviving? The platform developers, the providers of technology, the people who understand how business runs, the people who are able to pivot will always live. And you'll be going back to selling courses or whatever you were doing before.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I've heard you say that phrase a few times. I know before we started, you said it, and then even my little research, I've seen it as a theme, which is incredible to see. And let's go back to TradeLocker for a moment. I want to ask you, like, when you're launching a platform, like as you said, you tested it yourself first. Then when you get your initial bunch of users on, surely there'll be little issues that can come up.
Absolutely.
But you can only recognize that once you've launched, once there are users actually trying to use it. But when you're a new platform, especially in the sort of environment we're in right now, everyone's got a microscope right now. You know, any little flaw they'll try and amplify and be like, "Oh, that's terrible." You know, how do you handle that? You know, how have you sort of managed and pivoted those little issues that have crept up wherever they may be? Is there anything you can highlight of like, okay, we launched and this happened?
Yeah. So usually the people that make the most noise will be the person that probably hasn't deposited or doesn't even use the product. That's typical, right? But those people are very valuable because those people that make the most noise usually have the ears of many. Okay. And if they make noise now, and then you can solve for that problem in a very fast period of time, and you can make them a brand advocate, you've taken over the market. So that's what we do. We have a very, very close community. When we fail, tell us we failed. When we're down, tell us we're down. We will make it right. We will fix it. We had a scaling issue. We deployed more OMSs. It cost me, my brother, and my cousin a bunch of money, but we did it. We didn't charge anybody more money. We didn't up our prices. We just took money out of our pocket and did it because we knew it was needed. And now we're good. We don't have scaling issues anymore because we learned our lesson. And we had a lot of people bickering, and those people bickered to a lot of people and put up videos and whatever they did. And now we've those moments are now evergreen content for one of the best trading platforms in the space. You know, so we look at all of those moments as win-wins, or as Luke would say, win-win-win, because we want to.
I've heard him say that somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he'll explain it in when if he has his time to shine on this amazing platform. He'll talk about it, but. There's something that people don't realize about us. We're here for you. Along the way, I'm going to be here for me as well, but we're first here for you. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. We have the resources. We will make it. And we'll make it good. You know?
Yeah. I heard you say something earlier, and it's kind of what you just said now as well in a sense, but like you mentioned the words, fair exchange. And that's something I've always lived by as well. How important is that, like another ethos of yours, fair exchange?
Yeah, well, my grandmother, my father's side, and now that I've been saying about this, I actually need to, give my family props a little bit more, because my grandmother always said fair exchange is no robbery. So you don't come to a table, you don't buy something without leaving something for the person that you bought off. So if I have you and me want to buy a car, back in the day, this is what they do, was bartering. So you would do some exchange, and let's say, for example, you were buying the car and it was for $10,000 or 10,000 euros. I should give you something back. So for example, you drive the car to me at my house. Wow, the car's amazing. Can I get you a lift home? There's 20 for a taxi. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do business. That's how you operate as a human, And fair exchange is no robbery. Don't take from me for 15 years and expect that I'm going to sit here when you don't give something back to me. That I don't want to work with you anymore, Fair exchange is no robbery. And if we all just knew that, I'm going to this trading platform, I'm going to bring an audience, I'm going to be an affiliate. They're going to pay me my commission. That's a fair exchange. Don't hold them over the table next week for $10 more per lot or whatever. It's not right. Because at the end of the day, if the broker goes down or if something happens, you have to go back to whatever you were doing before. Think of that in business. Think of that in whatever you do. Fair exchange is no robbery, and everybody will thrive.
Definitely. I love that. And like I said, it's something that I picked up on like a good few years ago, and it's always something I've tried to live by. And as you say, like, it's very unfortunate that a lot of people don't sort of live by that. But that's the nature of the world, nature of human beings, for sure.
But I think like platforms like this give the opportunity for people like us to try to convince the grassroots audience in my prop firm is the next prop firm owner.
Yeah.
That's the fact, you know? That's it.
That's how it works.
Yes, that is how it works. When you retire and I retire and we're enjoying the spoils of our hard labor, someone in our ecosystem is coming up. They're looking. We went to a meeting yesterday and these guys, I've been researching you for a year. I'm so happy to be in this meeting. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic because I have this idea. Can you help me with that? Fair exchange. We left the table. That's it. Fair exchange. I don't want to take anything from you. You don't want to take anything from me. But we know what we're about, you know? And I left that meeting very impressed. I left that meeting with ideas. And I'm going to go back hopefully next week. We'll set up a Zoom and we'll put something together. Probably in sports betting for props.
Yes, that's something. It was interesting actually you mentioned that because that's something I only just recently heard about, which seems like it's going to be the next thing.
Yep.
I imagine.
Yeah, and we've had some first movers. And as I talked about first movers before.
Yeah, same principle.
The same principle. We've done our research. We'll do more research. Yeah.
There's one question I'd like to ask you, but I don't know if you would answer. So I'm going to ask you anyway.
I'm an objection master, so let's go.
I'd say, are you able to share your net worth?
Well, my net
or
worth,
collectively as your wolf pack, for example.
Yeah, it's in the very, very high hundreds of millions.
Wow.
But you can just Google my family office.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. But the way I look at that money is that's resources for the next thing. Like I'm building so many cool things, and that's the way it works with us. Our traders, our audience, our clients, your customers, they do things. They make money. Their interests change. You need to have a partner that is prepared to take you to the next level. So you start today your prop. You're going to build a good audience. You're going to start to understand about liquidity. You're going to start to understand about email marketing, SMS marketing. You are a fantastic marketer anyway. I don't need to teach you anything. But maybe you want a broker one day. You need somebody beside you that can give you all of the advice so that you can make the best decision. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go with me. You can go with somebody else, and that's fantastic. But at least I've told you all of the pitfalls that I have faced in my experience. And then you need a partner that's thinking about the next thing. So like I said, we saw the trading volume go down. It went into the prop space. We researched it. We put a product out there. These people that are in the platforms, they're looking around and they're seeing sports betting. They're seeing sports prop. They're seeing decentralized exchange. They're seeing futures. So I'm going to build one and I'm going to offer it to you. I'm going to build one and I'm going to offer it to you. So if you do have an idea, if you do have a way to pull an audience in, you will have a product. And that's what my money's for, is to build those things.
Definitely. And the reason I asked that question was literally just sort of give a foundation or give the audience sort of an insight. Because as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people in our space, some key players, if you will, for the last couple of years anyway, they weren't business people until they started that business, if that makes sense. Yeah. The income they've generated or have, or the worth they have, is based off that business versus someone who's already been successful, actually has the accolades, the experience, the knowledge outside to then bring into this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's just to set that stage. TradeLocker though, what are people looking forward to? Like, what are we all looking forward to? What is the mission? Where are you taking this?
Yeah. So one thing that's missing in this market segment right now is copy trading, algo trading, EAs, robots, social, a couple of other things. The casino space has done some couple of really, really cool things with community building. YouTube obviously has YouTube Live, all of these things. TradeLocker should be a social environment where people can get financial freedom through their community, through their mentors, through learning and trading themselves. And we will be a community of traders that is, you as a trader can go and start trading. You have a strategy. You should be able to go to TradeLocker and build your robot. You should be able to do that in a quick period of time. You should have the freedom. You shouldn't be pinned into a crazy language. You should be able to do it easy. So you come to us, you know Python, maybe you don't know Python. Okay, use our large language model. Use ChatGPT, which we've embedded with this LLM, and figure out how to make a script, you know, and make some money, run a robot. Try that. You know, you should be able to just do that, pivot, move as through your trading journey, and TradeLocker will be the place. People are going to be like, if you're not on TradeLocker, you're not trading, you know, and that's it. Like this weekend, I made okay, I'll just say the names. I made MT4 to TradeLocker, MT5 to TradeLocker, TradeLocker to TradeLocker, TradeLocker to MT4, TradeLocker to MT5, TradeLocker to DX. I did all of that, and I just started sending it out to all my blue ticks on Instagram. I said, take all of these, give them to your audience for free. Start copy trading. So if you have MT5, cool, copy trade to TradeLocker. Tell your audience you can help them with copy trading. It doesn't matter. Let's introduce everybody to what this, it should be a level trading field, not an incumbent supplier like holding it like this.
Do you feel like that's going to be a mistake?
No.
From them? No, not from you. From them holding it like this.
Like, I can't be in the mind of another business person or an entrepreneur. Yeah. I can't really answer that.
Well, my opinion would be that is a mistake, because I feel like once you show the colors of being restrictive, as a lot of people right now are going to be very frustrated, for example, with those sort of platforms because of the pain they're facing off the back of that.
Yeah.
So then when they then see something that is a level playing field, that is more open to the trader, I think it would be. I think long term especially.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting, especially, like I said, innovation. I think it's so important. Our space is always innovating, as we know, even in my short space of time of being in the industry, let alone your space of time and the future time to come. It's always innovating. So like having that innovation from platforms to obviously whatever comes in the future too, I think is necessary and needed, especially in this day and age as well. Everything, you know, we all want the latest tech. Yeah. And our platforms are so outdated. Majority of them are so outdated. And just the small demo I had there, you know, just before we started, even that was very insightful. Like you said, like rather than having to pay externally to have this plugin to be able to do, let's say, like trade management or a management tool for your lot sizes, etc. It's just built in. Yeah,
we run a weekly and bi-weekly maintenance window, which like everybody hates right now. Everybody hates it. Okay. We're sorry. But the reason we're doing it is because we're rolling out product. So that trading window, and like I'm taking some stuff from Luca for later, but that order panel is the foundation of how you access that prop or that broker, right? So that needs to be the best thing, like since sliced bread, right? So in there you can see it evolving. You can see that we've got now we have risk management, we have a lock calculator. Next thing is trailing stop loss. All of these things that you want, but we had to have a simple order panel first. Then we had to add in like the on-chart trading. Then we had to add in the risk calculator. Then we have to build it in this fashion, because if we don't do this foundational work now for our traders, how can you expect us to make you the best copy trading platform in the world? So bear with us, enjoy the maintenance window, have a little break from trading, do your research for your Monday morning when you're getting back into the market. But we're going to make that savage, and that is going to be foundational for everything. You know, in that one little window, when we do social mode, when you're able to copy your mentor, that will be your window to making money. So we're making that the best ever.
One question: am I right in saying that the trading view charts is integrated into TradeLocker?
Yeah, so we have that panel is what you know and love from TradingView. We're their key partner. We can just double check. It's the library or the license. We have the library. I'm pretty sure we just rang them up and said, like, what's your most expensive package? We want that, and we paid it. And that's the core thing. Again, we're good researchers, you know, and like I've known from the Forex space, you know, people go to TradingView, do all their charting, they have their indicators, and then they go to MetaTrader to execute. So put them together.
That's it. Seems simple, right? You'd think
it seems so obvious. Like even us, like, you know, we always wanted to, you know, do a trading platform at one point, but it took the pressure, you know, like trading platform is crazy. Like order management systems, all of these things, this is big maths. You know, it's not an easy thing. We did it in 18 months.
Was there any, in that 18 months, as you said, it is such a big thing, was there any sort of moments in there where it really, you know, as they say, shit hit the fan, like it was really tough?
Absolutely. Like very, very heated meetings We have development teams segmented all over the world. We got 8 offices in Europe, for example. You know, we were doing, go on Ryanair, get a fucking flight now. You know, we need to be in a room together, because if we don't come out this, we're going to quit. Let's get out of this, you know. And we had many of those moments. We come through it. One thing that we have is we do have a brotherhood. Like, it's like, you know, we're here to do this one thing, and it's our mission. We have our war room, and we're doing it. That's it. You know, and if I upset you, I'm sorry. After we go get a coffee, we talk about it. But we need a solution today. We need a solution now. Your feelings, they stay outside. Pick them up on the way out. We don't have time for that. Our business is getting fucked. Leave them outside. And that's how we work on it. It's good that we all have the emotional intelligence to do it.
Yes,
because a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, I was going to say that is definitely necessary, and it's good to be able to have those people around you who can handle that.
Yeah,
have that accountability.
It's intense.
I can imagine.
People say that me and Jay are intense.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of your parting message, if you will, for this one, I believe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be doing a part 2 in the future. You know, do some regular updates on how things are going.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
But like, what would be your parting message to the audience? You know, just, you know, I don't know. It's up to you. This is your moment to shine. Like, whatever you want to say to the audience.
Can I do like a one-line plug?
Of course.
Completely
your thing.
Contact your broker and tell them you want TradeLocker. That's it. Contact your prop and tell them you want TradeLocker, because it's needed. Because for what's coming, it's needed.
If people want to test TradeLocker, for example, they should do that for sure. But let's say if they just want to test it, right? What would be the easiest way for them to test it?
Okay, simple thing, and this is also a little bit of a growth hack for your own business. Just Google it, find somebody that has TradeLocker, and take a demo account. Or if you are working with our prop technology as well, we do free trials. So you just take a free trial. I don't want to plug any broker or any prop, because I have my own, but I also don't want to take away from my clients. So I won't plug anybody there. But that's the simplest way to do it. And the growth hack behind that is, if you can convince people to Google search you, Google will re-rank you better.
Okay.
So tell your own.
I like that.
Yeah.
It seems
I learned that from Luca.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Luca's on next. So everyone make sure you're ready for that one as well.
Growth hacking genius.
That's it.
Imagine if he flops on it now.
Setting the stage.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. It's been absolutely very insightful and knowledge-based and very exciting insight into TradeLocker itself. Make sure you check that out. The links for Owen will be in the description below. Check out owen.com. I know he didn't plug it, but, you know, to see his history and his portfolio. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being there with us. Comment, like I said, with your biggest takeaway. There'll be other playlists and other episodes here. Hit subscribe. And until next time, take care.